Hello, backers. Alan James here. We are back in the studio. Longer hair than before, but Michigan has come out of it for now, and we've been back in the studio for a little bit, at least a few days a week. So it's nice to be back. It's nice to have in-person conversations about dice and color tests, which we have right here. So I hope everything is wonderful where you are, and that you've had your shots and are able to play in person, and roll some dice very soon, if not already. So we wanted to, just like we did last time, we have some color tests in. We want to go through the ones we haven't yet with you all. We have some stuff to talk about, some tweaks that we're going to make. Talk through our thinking a little bit on some of these. It's Kickstarter. This is a process. We get these samples in, we tweak them a lot, we go back and forth. Things don't look the same as we thought they would, or the manufacturing isn't consistent. Thanks everybody for all the input so far, and I'm sure there are more. So we're gonna go through each of these that we have here. We are going to save Eldritch Blast for last for a specific reason, so we'll do that one last. I think we're gonna start with Death Saving Throw, right here.
Death Saving Throw. These, the photos from the manufacturer don't do these justice. I was a little nervous. These coming in, I was like, oh man, like is the matte effect gonna work? Is the red gonna be visible? And these are great.
Yeah, these are great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the. I think the matte finish puts it over the edge. All right.
What do you want to do next?
Sneak attack. I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of like that one. Sneak attack.
Sneak attack is pretty great. I think these. I mean, like we didn't even have any feedback. They just nailed it on the first try. Feels like you're striking from the shadows.
Feels like there's a shadowy cloud inside of a purple die. Nailed it.
Love it.
Nailed it.
Want to do bludgeoning next?
We'll do these bludgeoning guys here. We have 3 bludgeoning color tests.
3 colors. Yeah, we've got the 2 standard kind of initial colors, and then the 3rd unlocked color. I like the looks of these. I'll say, yeah, the metallic bronze I thought turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
I know you're maybe less of a fan, personal choice, but they ran these samples on our old fire die molds, but obviously they'll be in bludgeoning for the production, and I thought this shows the design pretty well. The inking job on some of the samples we received is pretty sloppy. We think that's because for these small samples they sent us, somebody just went in with a paintbrush and filled it in. These aren't how they're going to be inked in the production.
True. Yeah, and some of them are even not even on our molds. So they'll be on either a stock mold or an old fire mold, a lot of times they'll just be like machined, like CNC machined. They won't even be from a mold. They'll just take a flat die and like machine it. Again, this is really just to give us an idea of what the colors are going to look like together. They're not our molds in a lot of cases. In I think most cases, they're not. Yes, they're not the final mold. We're just looking at the colors for this process.
Piercing samples, the 2 base colors, the bespeckled black dice with gold and silver ink came on standard die molds. So these are just numbers. They're obviously not our molds and not the production, but the colors look great to me. I love they're actually very slightly translucent. They look opaque at first, but if you look close, you can see some of the little pinpoints of glitter deep in there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
That's what I like. It's that like night sky kind of look.
Yeah. Yeah. And the gold and silver ink, yeah, as expected.
Straightforward.
These were pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The third option,
the gold and green.
Mm-hmm. They sent us 1 of these.
Yes.
This is all we have. We just have the 1d8.
1 on fire.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty good to me. That one is also very, very slightly transparent.
Yes.
Translucent.
Yeah.
And
I think to me the big question mark there was the ink color. Being like a dark enough green and be a contrast. I like that it's a darker green. So these. Slashing. This is the clear red slashing
with white,
and they have this white cloudy slashes through it, if you will.
If you will.
And honestly, probably in contention for my favorite set at this point.
Yes, this is another one that the photos that we received initially, I was skeptical that the color of the ink would be sufficient to read.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, it looks great.
Magic Missile.
Magic Missile, we went back and forth a lot on the color, but I think we've landed in a pretty good place. These should feel of the same set as the Magic Force Damage dice from our last Kickstarter, if you have those. And I think they do.
Yeah.
They're very much the same ink, just in a different color. But notably, these D4s are 1.5 times bigger than your standard.
So yeah, we're confirming with the manufacturer whether or not this is our mold and that they are this big, or whether this is like many of the other ones in this test, just a color test, and that this is not our final mold. However, I will say, if it is our final mold and they are just bigger, I'm kind of okay with it.
I'm not mad about it. We'll attach a photo of these next to a standard D4. Let us know what you think. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not crazy. They're not jumbo. They're just.
They're just a little bigger.
A little big.
These only come in a set of as many as you'll ever need for Magic Missile.
Mm-hmm.
So there is not a situation where you would have to have 3 D4s from your Magic Missile set and 1 D4 that wasn't the same size from some other set, and it'd be weird.
Right.
So there's no way to buy fewer than you possibly need of the Magic Missile dice.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't eat any, you know who you are, you're fine. Cool. Superiority.
So they were sent just on normal, on standard dice, just numbered. We think that the red is a nice shade, but maybe the wrong tone. We think these could go a little darker.
A little darker. Yeah.
They'll appear a little bit darker in the final production because our molds ink a greater area on each face, which will let less light into the die. But even still, I think we're going to go just a hair darker on the red.
Yeah.
And get that nice, deeper blood red vibe going.
Let's do the 2 mini sets now.
The 2 mini sets.
Portent and Wild Magic.
Yeah.
Portent.
So these are on some weird stock molds. You'll see in the photos. And these are pretty much a redo. We're not sure why they came matte. And the ink is a little dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going for a more multicolored shimmer effect.
Yeah, it's not the shimmer. We're looking for more of the effect that's going on in the Force dice, if you have them, or the Magic Missile, where there's like a shimmer to the glitter.
Just in a black resin.
Yeah, as opposed to glitter. This is a glitter, not a shimmer. Yeah.
So expect an update on kind of the next version of Portent.
Yeah, can be better. Will be better.
They will be.
Wild Magic.
Wild Magic looks great.
Yeah.
These are on standard, and one of the coolest parts, one of the parts I'm looking forward to most for Wild Magic is our custom D20 mold, which we haven't seen yet. But as far as the color and the ink, I love it.
Our final item here, Eldritch Blast. We'll talk through these Eldritch Blasts.
So we got these inked. These are the same dice from the last sample update, but inked in white. You can read them now. However, they look a little bit like Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, so that's a full set. You'll notice that the effect of that, the problem with that, because there were some people that chimed in the comments that said, hey, don't desaturate it, I actually really like the brighter colors. And tastes vary, totally a thing. Big thing is we want to make sure that we're delivering on expectations. So we want to get as close to that design that we showed you as possible. We know there are a lot of people we don't hear from that are just thinking about that picture and want it to be as close to that as possible. secondly, we also want it to be really great. And right now, these don't look like Eldritch Blast.
A ghostly and otherworldly force. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to continue to tweak this set closer to our initial design, which is essentially just less colorful. We just want these to be desaturated and use the color as more of a hint in the die. Additionally, we're gonna make a new Eldritch Blast set. We're using the same molds and the same basic color scheme, but we're going to design them closer to the Sneak Attack acrylic. We want the main feel of the dice to be a black that is swirled in with a mist of purple, red, yellow, and green.
Yes. So that's the idea. So we're still, for those of you who are really excited about what you saw, that will be available. We're just going to make a second option for this set that I'm more confident will be closer to what I imagine an Eldritch Blast feels like. Jives like, jams like.
Blasts like.
Blasts like. Hope you all are safe, having fun, rolling in person, and yeah, we should have a color update again soon, and then we're going to prove a lot of these, so things will be moving right along.